There was a punishment so terrifying, so excruciating, that even the executioners wept while performing it. A sentence not just of death, but of total disintegration, of flesh, dignity, and soul. This was Lingchi, known in the West as death by 1,000 cuts. For centuries in imperial China, Lingchi wasn't just a method of execution, it was a warning, a public theater of suffering, designed not merely to kill the body, but to unmake a person entirely. Lingchi first appears in Chinese legal texts as early as the 10th century, under the Liao and Song dynasties, but it reached horrifying perfection during the Ming and Qing eras. Its purpose, to punish crimes considered inhuman treason, parricide, or the betrayal of the emperor himself. But this wasn't justice, it was annihilation. Let's be clear. Lingchi wasn't just death with many cuts. It was an art of agony. The condemned was bound to a wooden frame, arms, outstretched body, exposed. Then, the executioner began. First, the flesh. Slices to the chest, thighs, shoulders. Small, precise. Repeated, then the muscles. One by one, peeled away, while the prisoner still breathed. Sometimes this went on for hours, and only at the end, when the emperor allowed it, the final mercy, a stab to the heart. This wasn't done in secret. Lingchi was performed publicly. Tens, sometimes hundreds of people watched. But why? Because this wasn't just about punishment. It was control. It was a visual message burned into the memory of every witness. This is what happens if you defy the system. The condemned was often drugged with opium not to ease the pain, but to keep them awake, aware, terrified. In traditional Chinese belief, the body had to remain whole for the soul to rest. Disfigurement meant spiritual torment after death. So Lingchi wasn't just physical destruction, it was eternal damnation, a body cut into hundreds of pieces, a soul that could never be reborn. And worse, the criminal's family was often punished too, shamed, disgraced, ostracized. You'd think a man capable of carrying out Lingchi was a sadist. But the truth is, many hated their role. Executioners were trained to make every slice count. To deep hand, death came too soon. To light hand, the spectacle failed. Some wept, others drank heavily to cope, because when your job is to slowly destroy a living man, there's no room left in you for mercy. Perhaps the most infamous case was that of Lu Jin, a Ming Dynasty eunuch accused of corruption and treason. He was said to have received over 3,000 cuts before dying. Some victims screamed. Others went silent, frozen in shock. All of them died more than once. First the body, then the soul, then the memory. Lingchi was officially abolished in 1905, but by then, Western missionaries had already taken photos. These images shocked the world. Grainy black and white photos of torn flesh and empty eyes became evidence of a punishment too monstrous for the modern age. Even today, those photos are considered some of the most disturbing ever taken. Though abolished, Lingchi left a scar on Chinese history. It became a symbol of cruelty, but also a metaphor. In literature and political rhetoric, a death by 1,000 cuts now describes any slow, painful demise, be it emotional, political, or spiritual. But let's never forget where that phrase came from. Real people, real flesh, real suffering. Lingchi reminds us that punishment, when stripped of humanity, becomes a horror that stains not just the victim, but the civilization that allows it. In the end, it's not just the body that dies, it's the soul of justice itself. If this story moved you, disturbed you, or opened your eyes, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. This is Dark History. Truth is often stranger and more brutal than fiction.